we're going to be making a New Year's wreath. I've never made a New Year's wreath before, so this is kind of something new to me. But as you can see on here, I've got a lot of gray, or not gray, I got a lot of gold and black. That brings in the gold and black here from the sign. Gold and black. This sign came from the Crafty Tech Guy, so he does a fantastic job with the signs, so we're going to do that. We have also here our black wreath frame, so we're obviously going to be using mesh. We're going to be making mesh cruffles with this wreath. So I've got that. I've got two different kinds of mesh. I've already pre-cut this to 18 inches. Now this is 10-inch mesh. Cut it to 18 inches. It gave me 18 pieces on a roll. I have, this is a black with a gold border stripe, which is awesome. Very elegant. And then we've got an actual just gold foil. So that's going to be very festive. It's going to go very well with the sign. But the thing I'm most excited about is I went to, and let me make sure I get her shop name correct, KraftyKarenDesigns, K with the crafty, so crafty with the K, Karen Designs. And I got me some Farrisilk. Oh, check that out. Check out that Farrisilk. Here, I'm going to do the first ceremonial cutting of the plastic. Ooh. All right, let me take that pin out. Look at this. It is a black velvet with gold. Okay, black velvet with gold. And look at the other side. It's got the fused backing on there. Wow. I am in love and obsessed with this. I also got a gold Farrisilk in a 7/8 just because I want to be able to, sorry, this is 1 inch. I want to have a nice good pop on my 1 inch. Now, I may potentially put on, this is 1.5 inch. This is just a regular Expressions ribbon from Craft Outlet. So I can mix it with that. And then this came from old Time Pottery, believe it or not. And this is, let me open it up so you can see. This is kind of like a mesh weave ribbon. It's like a netting kind of pattern. So you can kind of see through it, but it's still there. So I think, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put this on the back and this over it, or I think I'm going to put this behind it because I don't want anything to get in the way of that. I don't want anything to get in the way of that. So those are our ribbons. Aren't they fantastic? Aren't they fantastic? Let me get over to Facebook again so I can see. I want to be able to see if people comment over here. I can see if they comment over on TikTok. Okay, so these are the ribbons. I'm going to put them behind me just because I need some space to work. So they're going behind me over here. And we are going to start out. I will say, if you look on the back of here, I've already put my cable tie mounts on here. So I attached these 1-inch cable tie mounts with E6000. And then I went around the edges and used some hot glue. So that way it's going to stay put. Here we go. Happy New Year's. Yay. All right. So we're going to start with the mesh cruffles. Now I'm going to put 2 cruffles in each spot. And you may be asking, what the heck is a cruffle? A cruffle is a cross between a ruffle and a curl. So curl, ruffle, cruffle. All right. And how this works is, make sure I give you enough room to see. Give everybody enough room to see, okay? Hopefully you can see. There's 18 spots on this wreath, so I've got enough mesh. But what I do is, see how it wants to curl up? It wants to curl up like this, right? So we are going to lay it curl side up, and then we're going to curl in from the top. So 1, 2, 3, because we want to make sure that this cut edge is inside. This is going to reduce the fraying. Sometimes maybe just only 2. Okay, so we got it like this. Got your curls. Got your curls as flat. And then we're just going to ruffle it up the center. So it's going to end up looking like a bow tie. Your bow tie. Hello, hello, hello. We got your little bow tie going, okay? So I'm going to go into the wreath. And on the bottom part, I'm just going to open this up. This is called a work wreath. It's already got these little branches on here for us. So I'm going to go in one of these spots, and I'm just going to put it in here. And then I'm just going to take these 2 branches and twist them. And then our mesh stays in place. Perfect. Nice. There we go. But then I want to alternate, so I'm going to put this gold on top. So I'm going to make a cruffle with this, okay? I like this metallic gold. I actually probably should order some more of it. It's stiffer, but I like it. Because sometimes we need things in our lives that are a little bit stiffer. All right, so I'm going to lay it on top of the black. So right now I have black on the bottom, gold on the top. Okay, black on the bottom, gold on the top. But now I'm going to alternate that. So now I'm going to put gold on the bottom and black on the top. You don't have to. You can do whatever kind of method you feel like you want to do. This is just what works for me. And so this is not a kit. This is just a one-off wreath that I am making to put in my shop, Sweet Aria Decor, DOTCOM. If I say that, TikTok will kick me off. So I can't say that. But you know. You know. All right, but I do have lots of kits. I've got still lots of Christmas wreath kits available in my shop. You can even go to makeawreathkit.com and it will redirect you over to my Etsy site. So I've got cardinals, gingerbread, skinny gingerbread, thick gingerbread. I've got a gingerbread wall pocket kit. Lots of cool stuff. Okay, so now that I've alternated it, here's what it looks like alternated. Okay, so now we have our black on the top and black on the bottom. All right, I'm going to continue that the rest of the way around the wreath. Now this is not the fun part of making a wreath. This is just kind of making the base, which, you know, I am all about that base, No ribbon, I'm all about that base, No, we will always have ribbon. We will always have ribbon in our wreaths. But this is going to be kind of fun to do something for New Year's. I didn't actually get to make as much Christmas as I would have liked this year. So I've kind of organized my stuff in the basement. So all my Christmas stuff is permanently out and accessible in clear bins. It's stacked so I can easily get to what I need and I can bring up just a bin or two. So that my plan is to actually kind of make Christmas year round so that I have lots of it in my shop by the time it rolls around. Here we go. And you'll also notice, if you followed me last week, you'll notice my finger splint is gone. Yay! My knuckle's still too swollen for me to put a ring on it. I like it, and I want to put a ring on it, but I can't. But at least the pain is better as long as I don't whack it. If you're watching on TikTok, I rolled my finger up in the car window, and then it froze and got stuck last week. So I was literally stuck in my car window for like 30 seconds in the McDonald's drive-thru in front of the speaker, screaming my head off for help. Did anybody come help? Any of the passers-by? Nope. Not a soul. No. But fortunately, it released long enough for me to pull my finger out. But I had some pretty bad bruising. But it's getting better. I just felt bad last week. I could not make any wreaths. I could not. I could put away stuff because I could use my palm to carry stuff, but I could not make a wreath. And it was awful. I felt so helpless, and I wanted to make some pretty stuff. Oh, here we go. All right. Going around here. This will be fun, though. So, let me know, guys. How do you spend your New Year's? Do you guys go out and party it up? Do you kind of just stay home and watch the countdown? Or are you like, I just don't care, and you go to bed at the normal time? I'm kind of like, I never go out on New Year's. Never, 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 never. There's people out there. There's people out there. We don't people. We don't people. Especially not on New Year's. So, I like to stay home. I usually end up watching whatever's on ABC. But I think, so I'm in Chicago, so we get to watch the New York countdown. And then it switches to our local station's countdown, which here in Chicago, it's nothing great. But I think this year they're going to stay on and do some kind of countdown on ABC from Chicago. So I will probably maybe stay up to watch that. Who knows? I thought about being live and doing like a live wreath making countdown, but it's late. I don't know how tired I'm going to be. I'm not a night owl. I'm not a morning person either. I'm real good in the afternoons from like 2 to 5. But that's kind of about it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm here just making my cruffles. This is again, the 10-inch mesh. I cut it at 18 inches long. And on some rolls, you can actually get 19 pieces of mesh. But I needed 18. So that's why I don't cut any larger than 18, because otherwise I'm going to have to use another roll of mesh. And this already uses 2. So you can get frames like these, places like Craft Outlet. I am probably going to start carrying wreath frames like this in my shop next year. I just picked up 76 cases of wreath making supplies that are going to be used for kits and things that I'm going to be reselling on my site, Sweet Aria Decor, DOTCOM. You know what I'm talking about. So that's going to be fun. We carried it all down to the basement over the weekend. My son helped me because I usually have most of my warehouse stuff is in the garage, but I did need to be able to get my car in just for, the next couple of months with the snow. So the open workspace in my garage is now taken up by a vehicle, so I had to move my kit making stuff to the basement. So once I get back from going out of town, I am going to be going through making kits, listing stuff. It's spring, it's summer, it's every day. It's Wreath Kit Palooza! Woo! Only it's not held in August. It's not 105 degrees, and I don't charge you several $100s to have to get squished next to a bunch of other people. Sorry. Not a huge Lollapalooza fan. Went once. Didn't need to go again. Though I did see Muse. And, can't remember who else. And the Killers. I think I saw them there. That was years ago. Here we go. I'm almost done putting the mesh around the bottom. Elizabeth, hello from South Illinois. Well, hello, my southern neighbor. I think we're expecting some snow up here. Are you expecting any snow down by you? Somebody told me we were going to get dumped on again, and I was like, oh my gosh. Because I'm flying out of town on Wednesday. My dog will be remaining here with the dog sitter. But I'm going out of town. I'm going to Disney World. Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm going to be broke AF when I get back, but I've always wanted to see Disney at Christmas, and I want to see, honestly, I'm going to see their Christmas decorations. I'm obsessed with wreaths and garlands and ribbon and all that stuff, so to be able to see the things that make me happiest in the happiest place on earth, I cannot think of a more exciting thing. I just love that. I would love it if they gave tours of where they do their holiday stuff. Okay, this is coming off. Welcome to Hot Flash Linda. Woo! Oh. Fortunately, I am wearing a shirt from my business. I did not plan this. It's kind of funny. All right, so I've got the whole bottom part. Now, I still have to do the top, but this is what the bottom looks like right now. Okay, this is the bottom going around, and we are currently measuring at 26 inches wide. So this is going to be a little chubby one. Johnny, hey! Johnny, how's it going? How is it going? I have been really bad about not being on TikTok, so I'm going to try to catch you live next time you go live, I promise. I've been so bad about not going live. It's because I've been trying to put other stuff away and dealing with house stuff, and it's been a thing. I spent 2 hours this morning at the school with my daughter's IEP meeting, which went really, really well. Her school is amazing. But it's just like, there's always something that's coming up that's keeping me from being able to just sit down and like throw on some TikToks and get to watch my friends live. But if you guys are watching, go follow Johnny because he's freaking awesome. Ugh. Okay, I want to point out, as I'm making this, I've never had this happen. This is this is kind of a weird thing. I think this because I got this base from Old Time Pottery, but there's a set of branches here that it's on a wire and it's going in down the middle. So it's not on the top ring and it's not on the bottom ring. It's in the middle ring, which is kind of a little odd because I think how they do it with these branches is it's on a wire and they just wrap it around that frame. So this kind of just hit like a point going down from ring 1 to ring 2. It's like on a down escalator, I guess, if you will. So I'm going to do that piece next because I want to get that in there. Because with my luck, I would get the wreath done and then I would be like, oh, I completely forgot about putting that in there. Okay, so I'm making this. Now I'm starting again. I'm doing the black on the bottom, alternating my colors. I'm just trying to get through this as fast as I can because I am so excited to make a bow using that Farrisilk ribbon. What do I want my stocking for Christmas? Well, I'm a widow, so a hot guy would be nice. But aside from that, if you were a hot guy holding a roll of Farrisilk ribbon, yeah, yeah, baby, yeah. You know what? Keep the guy. I just want the ribbon. I just want the ribbon. Here we go. I kind of wish I had a bigger table, to be honest. And put that there. I don't want to get it near my glue gun because I don't want to get any glue on this. Because that would be not fun. Oh my gosh, now I get to say Elizabeth, no more snow for a couple days. Good. Bobby, hello in Pennsylvania, my aunt. Well, hello, Aunt Sue. I'm glad you like the colors. They are vibrant. They are quite vibrant. I'm going to go this way. Here we go. I like it. Because, you know, to me, New Year's needs to be, I don't know, this is like flashy glam, right? I like that. Especially if someone's having a New Year's party, this would be really fun to have on the door to kind of greet guests when they came in. Do you guys have any New Year's traditions that you do? My New Year's tradition, the only tradition I have, is I usually make, some people call them pigs in a blanket, but it's like the little tiny cocktail hot dogs that you wrap in the crescent rolls. I love those. Now, Hillshire Farms used to make the really good ones, but they did me dirty. Because now they only make the smoked ones, and I don't like smoked sausage. I just like regular hot dogs. Just like the little regular ones wrapped up in crescent rolls. That's what I would usually eat on New Year's. I also used to sit there with a bag of those candy conversation hearts that they come out with for Valentine's Day. But I had to give those up because if you follow me, you're probably like, why is that girl missing 3 teeth? I'm missing 3 teeth. You know why? Because of those damn effing candy hearts. Yeah. I broke a bunch, and then I was supposed to be able to get implants. And the one oral surgeon I saw said, there's not enough space in there for implants. My bone density wasn't deep enough or something. So I just haven't been putting anything in there. But my new oral surgeon was like, there's plenty of bone. So next year, I'm getting implants. Not the kind I thought I would get, but I'm getting implants so I can finally smile and not feel self-conscious. So that'll be kind of nice. And of course, I don't know why I'm oversharing. I just should have kept my mouth shut about my missing teeth on this live. But hey, we all got something. I can't stand the scraping sound and feeling of snapping on a denture. It just, to me, it's hell on earth. I just can't. So it'll be interesting to go through. But I'm willing to do it. But I certainly do miss those little candy hearts. Those used to be my absolute favorite things. I think they started making them earlier, and then they got harder, and that's kind of how I broke them. So that's a shame. But that was my New Year's tradition. I would sit there eating candy hearts and cocktail hot dogs. So I'll have to do something different this year. I am kind of thinking about maybe doing a live countdown for the new year. on either the tiki-taki or the face page. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. It might just be a last-minute decision based on whether or not I'm conscious. We'll see. All right, we got 2 more of these to go. So now I'm going to start with the black. Get over there. I'm going to do the black. I'm still alternating between putting black on top and putting gold on top. But I like that I've kind of mixed the 2 patterns. You can also use 21-inch mesh and go around and make poofs. And then you can put in a cruffle on the top if you want to. I just wanted to do cruffle. Why? Because it's fun. I like it. I also have lots of little picks and things to kind of put in here. So I'm going to play around. I have a varied assortment, and I'm not really sure what I'm all putting in there yet. Last one. Here we go. But we shall see what it's going to look like. Here we go. So I wonder for category-wise, I guess I'll have to put this under Christmas in my Etsy shop, even though it's New Year's, but I guess it kind of falls under that whole end of the year kind of category. So that'll be fun. But I've got so many kits coming. I've got birthday kits coming. I've got, once my import order comes in, I've got a blue chinoiserie butterfly that we're going to have possibly as a grapevine and also as a thin wreath. Lots of really cool stuff coming up. Okay, so here's our 26-inch wide wreath. Our depth is currently at about 8 inches. Here we go. Nice. Pretty. And then here's our sign. Happy New Year! Ah! All right, so I want to attach this sign right now. I've already, like I said before, I put the E6000 in here to hold it, and then the hot glue just kind of goes around just to kind of hold it until the E6000 cures. Now, I did this yesterday. I was smart enough to plan ahead, so I don't have to worry about it popping off. But I just like to have extra security, and I do use just Gorilla Glue sticks. That's exclusively use that because I just don't want anything to happen to it. So, on this wreath, I'm going to want this to kind of be down, kind of like down here. So we're talking like at the 6 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions, okay? So I'm going to attach this by pipe cleaner. I'm poking it around. So where I have these branches, I'm putting the pipe cleaner over where I have the branches. All right, that way I can just kind of bring it through with one pipe cleaner, and I'm just attaching it on the first ring, okay? And I can kind of, I'm not saying squish it down, but I'm saying you can push it down a little bit just to make sure that you get a snug enough fit so that when you're done, it's not loosey-goosey kind of flying all over the place, okay? So I'm just taking that pipe cleaner, and then I just kind of push the rest of it back up into the wreath. And then we've got one here kind of at the 3 o'clock position. So I'm going to go a little bit below the branches here. Just kind of bringing this in. All right. So that's kind of be kind of down bottom here. All right. Twisting, twisting. Oh, Tammy, your husband had 3 implants in a year and a half. Oh, well, I hope I hope that'll be all right. I hope he did okay with that. Hopefully. All right, here we go. Okay, and here we go. All right, so this is kind of where we're at right now. We obviously need to put some more on here, but this is kind of the base. So our plan is going to be, there we go. Let's pull that ruffle out. Yay. Get that ruffle out there. My plan is going to be to put a bow up here in the top right, or top left quadrant. All right, so I'm going to put this down on the floor for a second. Now we're going to bring out our happy, happy stuff. It is time. I want to do that whole Mariah Carey. It's time. But I can't hit that note. So no, I'm not going to try that. Now, for this one, I don't have any 4.5-inch ribbon. I had some black, but I I don't feel like I want to do any 4-inch. I think I'm good to do just some loops with this 2.5 inch, because this needs to stay the focus of the whole thing. But look at the, when you get a good ribbon like Farrisilk, like look at that. And again, this came from KraftyKarenDesigns, crafty with a K. All right. But you can pair some nice ribbon with some less expensive ribbon, and that kind of, you know, it kind of balances it out. Oh, Bobby loves the color. Pittsburgh Steelers colors. Yes. Oh, and Mary, hello, in from New Orleans. Are these the Saints colors? Okay, I'm going to admit something. I don't know sports, like, at all. Like, I am, like, completely sports idiot. So, I think I remember the Steelers of those colors. So, I've dovetailed the top of this ribbon. So, I've cut it into a V shape. It's that pretty V shape like that. Now, we're going to have a tail. Now, this is going to be a bit of a larger bow. So, this top tail, I'm going to have at 9 inches. Okay, and put it in my bow maker. Now, this is the Easy Bows Design Pro. If you go to my link tree in my profile, you can see that there are, there's a link, and then one of these under my favorite things, this is listed, the Easy Bows Design Pro. I love this bow making tool. So I'm going to whip this one over, and we're going to have this be, I mean, we can make this kind of a hefty size bow. So I think we're going to have this loop be 8 inches, and I'm going to pinch and twist and have this be 8 inches. And then I'm going to bring this down for a tail, okay? So my tail on this one, I kind of think I want it about, kind of longer, so about this length. So we're talking about 15 inches on the tail, okay? And then I'm going to dovetail this. Dovetailing means I'm just putting the wired edges together, and I'm cutting angled from the inside outward, okay? And then I'm going to pull that little short tail up. Okay, so it's almost, think of like a cross that's on an angle. So you got the shorter top, comes out to either side, and then longer on the bottom, okay? Now, I have to use a bow maker because I've got some issues with the tendons in my thumbs. But there's no shame in having to use a bow maker. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. No shame in that at all. Okay. Now it's time. It's time for the Farrisilk. Now, you see it already came like this. It already came bent, like kind of wrapped like that. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm not going to dovetail this because sometimes the fusing can separate from the back, and then you kind of see a little bit of a gap. So we don't want that. So I'm going to keep this fused. I want this tail to kind of like go over the top, cascade over the top. So that was a 9-inch tail. This one is folded over, and then folded over, it hits an 8-inch, okay? So I'm going to twist this first. So pinch and twist, and put it in the bow maker. So that one's on the left. Now these were 8-inch loops. So I'm going to come in here and do a 7-inch loop, okay? It's a little past 7-inch loop, pinch and twist. Sometimes with the thicker ribbon, I will have to take it out, twist it, and then push it down between the dowels. So this is actually almost like 7.5. Okay. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to bring this tail down. Now I want this to be a little bit shorter than the one that was below it. Okay, so I'm going to trim it a little bit below where this tail was. So I'm trimming this. I'm going to cut this here. So if that is 12, I'm cutting it at 28. So that's like a 16-inch tail. Okay, I'm cutting it because now remember I have to fold it up. So I'm going to fold it up once, about a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to fold it up once, and then I fold it up twice. Okay. So there we go. All right. So this one is just slightly above the dovetail one below it. That's going to come up. Okay, and then we're going to have tail. We're going to have the netting, and then the velvet, the netting, the velvet, a netting loop. The netting is just that first layer that kind of looks black and sheer. All right, so I have a line of sight into each and every loop and tail, which is what I want. Okay. Ooh. So ribbons like this are pricey, but if you use them sparingly, you can really make them go very far, and it does elevate your design. All right, now the next one, I'm going to go with this one. I did have a different one. I had this one. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up using this one. But see, but this one on that one, that's a lot of gold. I think that was the reason I ended up going with this one, is because there's a little gold stripe, but it's not, there's still enough black in there. So that's why I went with this one. Now I remember. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Bobby bought the Bodabra. You know, I think I had a Bodabra too. This should work better than the Bodabra. It helps you. You got measurements on the side, and there's also a smaller version of this, but the measurements on the side, and I think it's got the dowels just, I think, hold it longer. But the whole point is pinch and twist as close as you can into here and do it nice and tight. The other thing is use a zip tie on your bow when you're all done. And we'll do that in a second. So this started on the left. This one started on the right. This one, now we're going to go back to starting on the left. Okay. And I want this to kind of start at maybe like an inch before that. So this is hitting at 14 inches. Yeah, we'll call it. It's hitting at 13 inches for the tail. Okay. I'm going to pinch and twist. Okay. So I've pinched and I've twisted on the right-hand side. Now I'm going to bring this loop over. If the one before that was kind of like 7 1/4, this one I'm going to do at 6 1/2. Then I'm going to pinch and twist. Bring it over. Pinch and twist. And then I'm going to come up with the tail this time. So my tail is going to be a little bit longer than the loop. So I'm going to cut the tail at 7. And then I dovetail it. You could always start at the top and move on down as well. Okay. And now, so this is going to kind of go over the ones that have that black netting. So we're pulling that in. All right. And then now we're going to finish with our 1-inch gold Farrisilk. Oh, I love using fresh Farrisilk ribbon. Oh, Mrs. P, thank you guys so much for gifting and glitter badges. Thank you so much. I'm just so excited that people actually want to watch what I do. All right. So now I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the top this time. Now, you notice also here, this is kind of folded over once. I'm going to leave it that way, okay? So it's folded over once, and so I'm going to put this in here. So folded over, this is hitting at 6 inches, okay? Then I do the pinch and twist, okay? So now I'm bringing this over here. So if this was kind of 6 1/2 inch, then this loop is going to hit at, I'm going to do 5 1/2 on this one, okay? 5 1/2, I pinch and twist. The reason to pinch and twist, even though it might look the same, is because the back side, like where they have the wire in there, that does look a little different on each of your ribbons. Okay, so that was 5 1/2. This is going to be 5 1/2. Pulling this down. I'm going to measure this, and I'm going to kind of cut it. I'm going to cut it even with that other tail. But remember, I'm pinching a little bit back, right? Actually, I think I'm going to roll this twice, because I also want to make sure that those wires are not exposed. All right. There we go. All right, now I'm going to grab a zip tie and a chenille stem. You can just use pipe cleaners around it if you want to, but I think that when you use a zip tie, you really just tighten it, you pull it. The zip tie is a push-up bra for your loops. It makes them nice and fluffy. Here we go. All right. I'm taking this all out of here. All right. Hold on to the whole thing. Not too tight, though. You don't want it to fall apart. I'm gently just going to place that pipe cleaner right underneath the tip of my finger. Okay, right under the tip of my finger. And then I'm going to put this zip tie between the fingers. See how it's kind of poking out there? Right there. Kind of poking through. I'm going to wrap that around the top. Bring it around back. Now I'm going to tighten it, but I'm not going to give it the full final tighten within an inch of its life. I'm tightening enough where it's not moving around, okay? But I'm going to hold it like this. And now we are going to run our fingers down these loops, okay? We're going to make sure that everything is in the position where we want it to be before I tighten it. Because once we tighten it, it's hard to move stuff around after that. So let's get everything into position now, especially our tails that are going to be at the top. Okay, and then we're going to pinch these two together. These two loops, pinch them together so it kind of comes together. And that hides the zip tie. All right. I got to take a look at this myself here for a second, so hold on. Okay. So here's our bow for the people over there. Here's our bow for our friends over here. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to pull a little tighter. And now I can do my final snip off of the back of the zip tie. Now I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, and I personally just like to give it a quick twist just to make sure that it doesn't go sliding around. I mean, nobody wants a slidey bow. It needs to stay put. So I'm going to move my my Easy Bows Design Pro behind me. Bringing back the wreath. All right. And now I'm looking at it upside down because I want to put this at the, I guess you can kind of call it like an 11 o'clock position, okay? So I've got it here. My sign is over there. My bow is here. All right. And there is an actual set of branches right here, so I'm going to put it over that. Okay. It's going to go right above the set of branches. I'm going to follow it through that way. I don't have to pierce the mesh with the pipe cleaner. It's just going to go where that gap already exists. And then once I have the two pieces together, I can pull them and then start twisting. Now here's where my friend Liz pointed out, and she did a great video on this about don't sink the bow, so we don't push the bow in too far. Now I'm just going to wrap that stem, the rest of that pipe cleaner, around the back of the wreath frame. I don't want to cut them off too tiny because what if I need to move the bow, right? So I'm just going to leave that there. So it's literally just wrapped around the frame. I just wrapped it around the frame, okay? And now I'm looking at my sign. I'm looking at my bow. Here we go. I wish I'd had some gold 4.5 inch, but there's already a lot of black and gold in here, so I don't think it's going to be missing much of anything. I think this is going to be awesome. Awesome sauce. Yay. Okay. I am going to shorten this tail just a little bit. By just like maybe 1/2 inch. Yay. All right. So right now, this is what we're at. Okay. Okay. It's coming down. I don't mind having this one mesh loop hanging over the sign a little bit because it is kind of transparent. It's not really cutting off too much. So that's kind of where we're at with that. I'm going to put this down because now I'm going to bring the goodies. I'm bringing the goodies. What do we have over here? Oh my. Well, we have some gold poinsettias. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using gold poinsettias or not. Not sure about those. We have some gold leaves from Hobby Lobby. Okay, these were the $2.99 leaves from Hobby Lobby. I know I'm going to be using a lot of those. Okay, but I also have I have some gold roses. So I definitely want to put some of these in here, just as a fun little floral touch. And then I have 2 of these. I wish I had a third, because you know the rule of 3. But I only have 2 of these gold balls on a stick. These came from Hobby Lobby. They were originally $3.49. Okay, so I got 2 of those. And then I do have some black, white, and gold round ornaments if I want to. But to me, ornaments that's Christmassy, and this is after Christmas. So I've got these. Now there's like 2 sets of here. These came from Hobby Lobby. There's 2 sets on here. So what I probably would do is, well, first of all, this one had a little accident. Some of that stuff came off, so we're gonna cut that off. All right, but I can separate these out into 2 pieces. All right, so that is probably what I will do. I simply just have to get a pair of snips. Okay, and we're gonna separate this out into 2 pieces. Boom, boom, boom. Snippy, snippy dippy. Yay! Okay, so I will eventually have 6 of these, so let me cut the rest of those now. All right. You also get the price tags off, because I'm classy that way. I like to leave the price tags on. I'm going to mini pearl this thing. Who's a mini pearl, you ask? I hope most of you know. If you don't, go watch Hee Haw. It's from back in the 70s. Back in the day. I think they used to be on Saturday nights. I think it was almost on around the time of, what day of the week was the Donnie and Marie show on? And then there was Barbara Mandrell. Oh, I miss those days. I actually remember watching the Sonny and Cher show too. Okay. I'm still not sold on using these, so I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to lay some stuff on here and kind of see what I think. I might end up using 2 of these poinsettias because I feel like I need something top and bottom, but I don't know. I might kind of poke them in here. I also don't want to get in the way of obscuring the bottom of the tails, so I'm going to kind of just lay it in here, kind of see what I think. I don't know. To me, it's kind of saying Christmas. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Bobby, I'm so glad you like it. I don't know. Okay, what do you guys think? Does that looks a little too Christmassy in my opinion. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. Yay or nay? Yay or nay on using the gold poinsettias? We're going to be doing I had done this before, where we kind of like worked together on a live and everybody helped pick the products and then we did a live together, but I don't know. I'm not sure about the poinsettias. I kind of think, I mean, I am missing a larger focal point then though, but I also don't want to take away from the whole Happy New Year look of it. I think I'm ixnaying on that. I think I'm going to focus for right now on putting in, we're going to put in our glitter leaves, okay? So I've got 6 curls. I do have 2 of these, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is kind of like above and below the sign at those spots. I'm going to kind of put one there, kind of put one here, and kind of work like everything else around it. I think that'll work. I think I'm actually going to put these in now. And I can kind of go around it. So what I'm going to do is remove the price tag. Okay, price tag is off. I'm going to start with the bottom one. So I do have a little space here. I think I'm going to open that up. I'm going to cut off. I'm going to leave some stem on here. So I'm leaving about a good 3-4 inches of stem. But I'm cutting off the rest. Because what I plan to do is really just add some glue and then kind of poke that back in. Yeah, I'm going to go that way with it. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the stem. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. Get in there. Get in there. All right. And now I'm going to twist these again. Poke that in there. Okay, there we go. I want to push that in a little bit further. There we go. I like that. Now I'm going to go back in and I can add a little bit more glue now that I got my spacing in there. Add a little bit more glue so it's kind of, it's really catching on the branches. All right. So that was good. So I'm going to go do this on the upper one now. Okay, so I'm going to start by removing, oh, price tag's already gone. Sweet. I'm going to cut about good 4 inches off. All right. And I'm going to open this up. Now I'm going to add some glue on the stem. I'm putting the stems, I'm poking them into the center of the wreath. Okay, I'm pushing that in further. There we go. There we go. Add a little bit more glue by the stem, just so it's attaching to those little needles on the little pine branches. All right. So we've got our fun little 2 of those, right? Those are fun. All right, now I'm going to go through, we're going to put on our leaves. All right, so I'm going to get all the stickers off here ahead of time. I should have done that before I started this. But, you know, did I think ahead? No. I also wasn't sure how much I was going to be using, but given that I'm not using the other ones, I'm going to get these tags off. So Hobby Lobby does currently have 50% off. I'm going on January 2nd when they have 90% off, because I'm trying to find multiples of things that I can use in kits. Okay, so I'm going to snip this off. Right here, there's 3 pieces. Right now I'm just going to break it into 2. I'm going to take off that top piece, so I'm stuck with 2. I've got these 2 pieces here, okay? And I was debating whether or not to separate these out, but I think I'm going to leave them, but I am going to cut off. That's a lot of stem. We can cut off a lot of that stem. I only need about 3 inches worth. That's what she said. Sorry. All right. I'm going to leave these over here. I just want a clean space so I can see what I'm working with. So I'm going to kind of put these all around the outside. So this is going to kind of go on the top of the ring. So what I like to do sometimes is I'm going to, again, open up the branches that the mesh is in, glue it, and then put it back in there. I like the added security that's going to give me of knowing that it's in some branches and it's got some extra support, because here in Chicago we are the Windy City, and there is a reason why. All right. Okay, so I got my first set kind of up here. Okay, go around now. I do another one. Next set. It's kind of going around. Now the one with that has the 2 branches together, I am going to kind of leave those. I'm going to try to push those in a little further so that way they're not sticking out too far. All right, here's my next one. I'm going to separate these out. Okay. Cut this. Oh, sorry, I'm puffing and puffing. I am still recovering from COVID. I'm better, not sick anymore, not contagious anymore, but still get kind of winded. I'm also fat. I don't know if you've all noticed that, but I'm a chubby gal. So, all right, so I did double, single. Now I'm going to go back and do double. Okay, I'm going to open up the next set. Okay, putting these in here. Just slide it right in. Now, there is glue on these stems, so be very careful with your fingers when you're putting these in, okay? And then I kind of like to separate out the branches so they kind of look like they're in there separately, okay? Kind of see what I did here? These are 2 on 1, but I separated them out so that it's kind of adding some more fullness and whatnot to the outside. So I'm going to go in and add my single. All right. that one in further. Go in further. Go in, go in, go in, go in. There it goes. Yay. All right. Nice. Okay, kind of moving around. You can see that this is kind of what we've done. This is kind of what we've done. Here, kind of an upside down version for the people online there. Oh, Bob's got a good friend that lives in Chicago. They're probably really cold right now. It's getting to be that time of year here. All right. I'm going to go back in with my double, the next section. And do kind of pay attention because as to what's the front and what is the back side. The back side, you can see a little bit more veining in the leaves because the glitter's not on that as much. Okay, separate that out. All right, I'm adding this one in here. Nice and tight. I just glued my thumb. I don't want to mess up my manicure. I got my Disney manicure. I gotta be careful. I have to pull that off very carefully later. I did take Aria to get her nails done. She doesn't ever get her nails done, but I took her yesterday. I was like, we need to have some fun manicures, and she felt like a real girly girl, and she, I think, enjoyed it. I hope she did. For what it cost me, she better have enjoyed it. It was worth it. It's not something that she gets done all the time. Like the second time she's ever had her nails done. First time was for her sister's wedding. So it's fun. She's going to be 13 soon, so. Sweet Aria. Is she still sweet? At times. At times, yes. At times, not so much. Ugh. I've gone through it before. I got a daughter and a stepdaughter in their 20s and a stepdaughter in her 30s, so I have been through the whole teenage thing before. I know it's coming. Pray for me. All right, I got 2 more spots over here, so I'm going to use 1 more set of these branches. Okay, I'm going to cut down, again, cut down from the top, cut the top one off, and then cut leaving the bottom 2. Cut a little bit extra off of there. Okay, now I'm using the set of 2. There we go. Get some glue on that. Sometimes people will just put it in and just glue it into the mesh or kind of right between there. But when I'm putting branches and stuff in mesh reeds like this, if it's on an evergreen base, it's different. But this is just on a regular old work form. So I just want to make sure that it's super, super secure. All right, this is my last one. All right. So our outside is good and done. This is our outside, looking pretty, looking pretty. Here, for my friends online over here, looking good, I hope. All right, so now I'm going to look at it. Now Mama Linda needs to take a look at it. Okay, try to figure out where I want to start putting in some of these roses, and I still have some of these curls. So I think the curls are going to kind of go in here and kind of around down here. So I'm going to start with these curls. And then the roses are very light, so they can kind of just go in there wherever. Okay, so I have opened up that set. And again, these are from Hobby Lobby. There's 2 of these on a pick. I cut them in half. And I'm just going to kind of put it in there and then give it a nice old twist. And sometimes I'll just push the branches like underneath the sign because we really don't want to see the branches, but we want to see the fun stuff sticking out of the sign. That's what we want to see. So now I'm going to use one with the longer stick because this one is kind of buried underneath that sign. So I'll cut a little bit off. But I want to make sure that this sticks out past the sign. So this one's going to go in here. All right. Gave that a nice good old twist. Perfect. I almost think maybe I can tighten this a little bit with the sign. Yeah, I can tighten this sign a little bit. Just giving it an extra little bit of twists on that pipe cleaner that's already holding it in there. There we go. All right, now right over here, I'm going to put one of these in. I wish I would have had more glittery things in a black. I do have some black sequin. They're like glitter sprays or like curls. Push that one in further. Go, 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 go. There we go. Yay. All right. All right. I'm liking that. Kind of wondering if I really need much of anything else. I'm going to put a set of these over here underneath the bow just to kind of balance it out. I think it needs that. But I don't know. I'm kind of almost rethinking the roses. I'm debating. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad I put those over there. Just because this one ribbon, it's kind of like that mesh weave ribbon. You can see through it, but there was nothing really like behind it that was like saying, hey, wow, look at me. So we needed that. And then I think one over here. Put one right in the top here. Now, I don't need it quite this long. Actually, I'm going to use the shorter one. I'll keep that longer one in case I need it. I'm going to need some more glue. I always run out of hot glue. All right, we've got that up there. Let me add another glue stick. Again, Gorilla Glue. I swear by my Gorilla Glue. Love it, love it, love it. Ooh, that is a lot of glitter. Oh, Blossom and Bow Decor. I'm glad you like it. Yay. I've got one spot left. Trying to find, there we go. I'm going to put this one kind of coming out behind the bow. All right, so I'm keeping this stem long on purpose. There we go. There, now we can kind of see that poking through there. I think that looks good. I am not using the roses. I've decided that I think it's enough as is. I don't want to take away from focusing on the sign or focusing on the bow. So let me kind of readjust here, make sure everything looks good. Pull the bow up a little bit. Make sure I pinch my center loops together. Okay. Here we go. There, that's the loop that I wasn't seeing. Okay. Perfect. I am going to add a little tiny dab of glue. A little bit. Just so this doesn't keep unwinding. So I'm just going to kind of boop. There we go. So that stays. I think we're good. Try and make sure that run your fingers down these wires so it gets a nice curl. All right, and I think I'm done, my friends. I think this is my Happy New Year's wreath. Then we are done. We are good. There we go. I like it. I think this is enough for my friends online. Make sure over here. I'm gonna make sure I can move far enough away where you guys can see it. Hopefully this is good. Hopefully this is good. All right. This was a lot of work, right? But I think it was worthwhile. I kind of want to keep this now, except I don't have any parties. So you can always add more to this. If I wanted to, I could go back. I could put the, oh hell. All right, hold on. Let me just snip one off and take a look and see what I think, because maybe I do want to put some of the roses in here. Shoot, I do. All right. I'm just gonna put the roses in where on the outside where we have those leaves. So now it's kind of like the leaves are kind of almost framing the roses. All right, I know I changed my mind. You guys are probably thinking this woman is crazy. She's stopping, she's starting. Is she done? Is she not? No, apparently I was not. But this part's gonna go quick. We can open up those roses too. There. Let's get the price tag out of there though, Linda. All right. You can kind of reopen up some of those. I'm pushing all the leaves up. If you watch here over here, I'm pushing all the leaves up, trying to get us leverage the leaves, okay? We don't want to leave them on the stem. All right. Kind of pushing them up. It's so funny when I was like, I'm done. No, I'm not. Make sure I don't get the leaves closed in there. All right. I'm just going around. You can start seeing where I'm putting in the roses. Okay. I'm going to watch over here. Push up that one. Push up that one. Not all the way up so they're not too squished on each other, but enough. I just thought I could have left it as it was. I could have. But I kind of wanted just a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit more zhuzhy. Especially kind of around the outside, right? And some of these have little white baby's breath on there, which are really pretty. I like that a lot. All right. Yeah. This also kind of helps camouflage those black branches. So it's kind of, it's win-win. There we go. So I'm going to try to alternate which ones have the little white baby's breath and which ones don't. But this goes quick. I'm just going around the outside. Very quickly, very gently. There we go. All right, grab another with the baby's breath. Now Linda's starting to think about what is she going to get her for lunch. Don't know. Here we go. That's the nice thing about the mesh is once I undo it and I open it up, it stays. And granted, the leaves are glued on there, but it's nice that it doesn't jump back out at me, right? It stays. Mesh learns its place. It follows along well. Crazy Linda. I'm done. I'm not done. I'm done. I'm not done. I don't know. I just know it would have bothered me if I hadn't put it in. So, I'm doing it. and it doesn't have to be like super matchy-matchy either. You can end up putting them in different spots. It doesn't have to be where the gold leaves are. I just felt like it just needed a little something where those leaves are. Okay, so, and I do still have, I got 4 left. So if you know me, you know I'm going to go find a spot where I can use those 4. So I just don't want to have extra product just sitting around. You know, what am I going to do with it? Plus, I just feel like I could use it. So, cut this off. I'm kind of looking to add stuff, maybe, yeah, kind of like around the inside. There's a lot of stuff around the outside. I want to add a little bit on the inside, but I want to make sure I kind of put this there we go. There we go. I kind of opened up one of those things. I'm going to put it, I opened up a branch. I'm going to re-glue it and put this back in. It just adds stability, in my opinion. There we go. Okay, I got a little rose kind of peeking in there. Kind of peeking into the center, which I like. I've got 3 left, and I'm kind of thinking going 1, 2, 3. Kind of around the sign. I think that's where it needs to go. And this I'm going to just glue in, and it's going to grab mesh, and it's going to grab metal, the branches, and it's just going to stick. Sometimes you can find one of the branches and kind of twist it around. That's kind of what I just did. Go. This one has the white, so I'm going to use this one next. There we go. There we go. And then this last one. One left. See, I told you I use everything. All right, that can go down. This, I think, maybe kind of come in from under there a little bit. Yep, that'll work. All right. I always like to do what I call a dry fit, just to kind of stick it in there, see if I like it before I put the glue in. Just kind of wrap that around there a little bit. Added security. Perfect. Make sure I get those leaves over there. All right. All right, here we go. Oh, it knocked me off. It knocked me off the TikTok. Anyway, this is, there we go. This is our finished product. All right, here is our finished wreath. We had some beautiful Farrisilk ribbon. These 2 are Farrisilk. This was Craft Outlet, and this was Old Time Pottery. We used mesh cruffles. We've got gold leaves from Hobby Lobby. And this sign was from John at the Crafty Tech Guy. All right, there we go. Making sure that's all good. I kind of was squishing that as I was pushing other things in.
And here is our finished New Year's Eve wreath, done in all of its gold and black glory, with the different leaves and the mesh and that beautiful sign, and of course that Farrisilk ribbon. I'm really happy how this turned out, and you can find this and so much more available in my shop at sweetariadecor.com. Happy New Year! Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me all over social media, and you can shop my store at sweetariadecor.com.